Of leadership style and servant leadership.
Oh, so what is a CLS? What is CLS? CLS is the Center for Leadership and Service, provides learning opportunities, programming, and leadership development for students. We have 14 major programs. We have 4 impact boards and 48 student leaders. Um, some programs that we have that are leadership based are Emerging Leaders, all for NT Conference, NSLS, Leader Ambassadors. That's us right here. We have service programs as well. That's Days of Service, Eagleton, Alternative Break, and UNT Serves.
So this presentation is going to be about servant leadership, and we just have a quote to get us started. And so that quote reads as follows: "If serving is below you, then leadership is beyond you." So we're going to get into what servant leadership means, different leadership styles, and how you can accommodate your leadership style to become more of a servant leader.
Excellent. So, what is servant leadership? Servant leadership is a leadership philosophy in which the main goal of the leader is to serve, not to lead, but to serve. This is different from the traditional leadership where the leader's main focus is the success of their organizations. So, servant leadership is characterized by leaders who put the need of the group over their own. That is very big when it comes to servant leadership. Is putting other people's needs over your own personal agenda and things like that. Keep that in mind when it comes to servant leadership.
So you might be asking yourself, why is learning your leadership style so important?
Uh, mm-mm.
Okay, here we go. So, why is learning your leadership style so important? Well, there are many different reasons. For one, it's going to help you understand your strengths, and by doing that, you're going to be able to use the things that use your skills and the things that you're really good at to really lead others and really empower others. And also by understanding your strengths, you're going to understand your weaknesses. And when you do that, you're going to be able to find solutions and find things that help you improve. Another good thing about knowing about your leadership style is you're going to be able to define values and perspectives, and it also aids in communication as well as helping you communicate with other people and learning their communication style.
It keeps moving, my bad. Okay, Lewin's leadership styles. So there are 3 different leadership styles. This is very big, so pay attention. So number 1, you have authoritarian. And authoritarian leaders, they provide clear expectations. As you can see in the picture, you see the leader, the woman, she's just like giving out instructions. She's just pushing that out. Also, you have participative leadership style. And this is those who participate in the group and they offer guidance. Um, this particular style closely resembles servant leadership because they're being active, they're participating, and they're offering guidance to others. That's very big. The third one is delegative. They offer little or no guidance. This one right here is kind of the furthest away from servant leadership because if you are serving others, you want to help them out. You want to guide them into, becoming a better leader or just to becoming a better person at what they are doing. Um, and delegative, providing little to no guidance isn't really going to help them out. So keep that in mind.
So even though there are 3 main leadership styles, everybody is different. There's various ways that we can lead. So we're gonna go over a quick little diagram that's gonna show a flow chart of different leadership styles. And we're gonna read out some statements to you guys. And if you agree with yes, or if you agree yes with the statement, then you're gonna follow along to one side. And if you disagree with the statement, you're gonna follow along to another side.
Cool.
Okay, so the first statement: being team lead means I'm in charge and what I say goes, no questions asked. So if you said yes, the next statement is My team counts on me to act quickly and decisively. There's no need or time to gather everyone's opinion and discuss with the whole group.
Cool. And if you answered no, you move over to like the right side, and that side says, my team is made up of intelligent, capable adults. They don't need me to encourage, teach, or babysit them. There's no hand holding here.
Okay, and so with the statement that I just previously read, if you said yes, then you can either be a commanding type of leader or an autocratic type of leader. And if you said no to the statement that I just read, then you were probably a democratic type of leader.
Into my statement, if you answered no once again, you would be either a laissez-faire type of leader. That means I can be pretty hands off. My team will let me know when they need my help. So letting your team kind of do the work a little bit. That's kind of like delegative, like in the picture when the guy had his hands behind his back and letting everybody else do everything. You can also be transactional. My team knows exactly what's expected of them and what they signed up for. And if they're not pulling their weight, I'll be the first like to let them know. Like it's kind of like a repeat of that, letting being passive and letting your colleagues, kind of like do some of like the legwork, and expecting them to pull their weight as well. And also you have bureaucratic, and that says, with the right procedures in place, teams can pretty much run themselves. My main job is to perfect the process and make sure the team follows it. Also, if you're kind of in the middle, it says this project is a chance to accomplish something great. Being a team lead is first and foremost an important opportunity to inspire new attitudes and lead by example. Now, that choice right there is going to lead to a different type of leadership style. And also, it says the best teams consist of strong individuals. My number one priority is to encourage and develop individual growth in a healthy team dynamic. Only then will the project be successful. That leads to these leadership styles right here. On the right hand side, you see a lot of you have transformational, charismatic, visionary, and pace setting. And I'll read each one. So let's start first with pace setting. So pace setting says being a leader means holding myself to the highest standards. If I don't know the right, if I don't set the right example, how can I expect any different from my team? There's always room to improve. So pace setting is letting people know that there's always room to improve. Being a visionary, that's a bit different. So it says as long as I paint a clear picture of where we're going and why to motivate my team, how we get there isn't as important. So basically they're focusing on painting the picture and kind of like paving the way for people to see how to lead. Now you have charismatic. That's a little different too. So they said my number one priority is to inspire my team to give this project their all. My ability to help them focus and give 110% is the key to project success. That's kind of like my leadership style. I'm charismatic. I like to inspire others to give their all. That's me personally. And transformational says this project is an opportunity to demonstrate our abilities. I have big changes in mind for how we can do things as a company, and it all starts here. So they're trying to like basically transform some things within that team setting. That's a transformational leader.
Okay, and then you have the ones on the left. So if you agreed with the best teams consist of strong individuals, my number one priority is to encourage and develop individual growth and a healthy team dynamic. Then you follow on with these on the left. And so we have an affiliated leader, and that reads the key to success is a good team dynamic. If everyone's connected and works well together, we can accomplish anything. And then you have coaching. Being a team leader is first and foremost an opportunity to encourage individual growth and development in every member of my team. And then you have the leadership style that we want to embody, which is servant leadership. And this one reads as I see myself as a servant leader, someone who secures the resources and supports my team's needs. If I can help them do their jobs, they'll take care of the most important tasks.
Okay, let's kind of highlight Lewin's main three leadership styles. So once again, authoritarian. Authoritarian leaders direct and control all activities without meaningful participation by other members of the team. So they're kind of like just directing people and letting them participate and get their hands dirty. And then you have participative, kind of like the complete opposite of it. Participative leaders encourage group members to participate, but retain the final say over the decision-making process. Basically, they're the ones getting their feet wet, their hands wet, but also they kind of have the final say still, all of that they're like getting involved. And then you have delegative once again. So delegative or laissez-faire leaders give little or no guidance to group members. So once again, they're those guys that are pretty much hands off, y'all got it, like kind of like a figure it out type leader.
So we're going to get into our first activity, and what I want you guys to do is kind of just like think of your leadership style as personal to you. So I'm going to ask some questions, and it would be nice if you guys can answer them in the chat or if you can just reflect in your head. So the first question is, what are the strengths of your leadership style? So what are some skills that you have acquired that contribute to your leadership style? And I can answer this question. For me, I am very organized. And, just being organized, it kind of just helps me with my thought process. It helps me do things efficiently and successfully.
We got one comment.
Okay. And this is from Regina. I think a skill that helps out is getting along with others. Yeah, that's a great skill. If you're a leader, you want to get along with the people that you're leading. Okay, so the next question, what are the weaknesses of your leadership style? What do you struggle with the most?
And be transparent too.
Okay, it's hard to tell someone when they've messed up. Yeah, that's a good one too. I know for me, even though I said one of my strengths was to be organized, that can also kind of be a weakness because when things kind of don't go the way that I planned it or the way that I kind of envisioned, I kind of get a little confused and I'm not really sure where to go. I really just like to have things planned out. I'm not really a go with the flow type of person. Okay. And so the last question, how can you use this knowledge in your involvement at UNT? So think about it short term and long term. So how can you use this knowledge maybe in your class or something that you're doing, this week or this month or in an extracurricular that you're involved in, or even, after you graduate from UNT or when you start your career?
Okay, cool. So how does this relate to your UNT experience so far? Some more reflection questions for y'all just to consider. So how do you lead within your group or communicate to your classmates slash peers? Uh, oh, okay, okay. I would say for me, how do I lead within my groups or communicate to like my classmates or peers? Um, I lead in a respectable manner, because how I will lead others is how I will expect for someone to lead me. Um, just giving that same amount like of respect. Someone said I'm typically always the first one to talk and get the group going. Yep, I'm the same way. It can be as little as in a group meet or even in class with group projects. Exactly. Exactly. Communication is very key uh when it comes to, getting those projects done effectively. So moving on like to the next question, it says, how does knowing your style assist in your role as a student? This is a very good question. This is a very good question. I'll go first. With me, with knowing my like, okay, honestly, I can't really lead others if I don't know my style. Um, and if I don't know their other people's styles and how they take things and receive things, it'll be kind of hard. It'll be a barrier to us working on one accord. So awareness and knowing your style and other people's styles and how they receive information and things like that is very important when it comes to serving others, not just leading others, but serving them. And our last question, it says, how do leaders you personally know achieve success? I'll go first. Leaders that I personally know how it like achieve success is that they plan everything out. Like they have a planner, and they're able just to write things down and be organized, and that's how they achieve success. Now, if everything's like all over the place, they're scrambling, trying to cram things in at the last minute, trying to just rush, they don't achieve success. Usually, people that I know. So that's how the leaders that I know personally achieve success. It's by being organized, being aware of their style, and just planning things up by learning everyone's strengths and using it to the group's advantage. Yep, exactly.
Okay, now we're going to go into our second activity. So this activity is about having a growth versus fixed mindset. So what we're going to do is we're going to read out a couple of scenarios, and then we're going to have two choices. And based on the choices that you choose, we're going to find out what type of mindset that you have.
We need all hands on deck. Let's go, y'all. All right, scenario number one. So you apply an interview for a leadership position for an organization you are in. And then guess what? You don't get it. Oh man, I know it hurts. I know. I'm sorry. Let me turn my light on real quick. So how would you react? Choice number one, you feel discouraged because you are passionate about your organization and really wanted this position. You begin to lack confidence in your abilities and are hesitant to apply for future leadership positions. That's number one. Choice number two, you ask those that review your application and interview you for feedback. You continue to be involved heavily within your organization. Keyword, continue to be involved. Choice number one, choice number two. Just write it down to the side or something and just keep a tally of it. Number two, through networking, you were offered a prestigious job immediately after graduation. Kudos. Do you feel that you will be successful? Let's be honest. This is a prestigious job, extreme, like immediately after college. Choice number one, you are anxious because it is a high level job and you just recently graduated with little substantive work experience in your field. That's a valid choice. Choice number two, you feel confident in your ability to adapt to the requirements of the job and work hard in order to be successful. Valid choice number two. So write down, once again, write down to the side, choice number one, choice number two for scenario number two.
Okay, scenario number three. So imagine that you've created a flyer for an organization that you're heavily involved in and wanted to receive feedback. After your peers have seen the flyer you made, they didn't think it was your best work and even gave you a few pointers on how it could be improved. How would you most likely react? Choice number one, accept that making flyers maybe isn't for you and you should devote your time and energy into another hobby. Choice number two, accept the criticism and pointers that was just expressed to you so that you can make the necessary adjustment to your flyer. What choice would you choose? Okay, in scenario number four, imagine that you have been working for a company with another close coworker for 5 consecutive years. After some time, you notice that your coworker has received numerous promotions that you haven't received yet. How do you feel? Okay, so choice number one, do you feel threatened by your coworker's promotions? Or choice number two, do you think that you could also receive promotions if you dedicated more time and effort into meeting your objectives?
All right. So after that activity and choosing your choices, let us know down in the chat. Do you have a growth or fixed mindset? That would be very helpful for y'all to just drop it down in the chat real quick. But I'll, give you some answers. Growth. Okay, we got some growth. So okay, some growth mindsets in here. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. So if you chose, if you have more of choice two, you have a growth mindset. That is very important when it comes to servant leadership, and I'm going to explain why in just a second. If you have a fixed mindset, if you chose more of choice number one, you have a fixed mindset. That's not saying you can't become a servant leader, but there will be some hurdles you have to overcome in order to, become a servant leader, of course. So let's kind of dive into what is a growth or fixed mindset. So, what is a fixed mindset? Those that have a fixed mindset believe that their character, ability, and intelligence are fixed traits that cannot be changed. So, what is that saying? Basically, whatever cards you was dealt, that's all you got. You can't grow and get none. You can't develop and get better or anything. Whatever you got, that's it. You got to make the best of it. That's a fixed mindset.
Okay, and what is a growth mindset? So, those who have a growth mindset believe that those traits can be developed through hard work and see failure as a springboard for growth. So, if you have a growth mindset, you are constantly evolving in the way you think, constantly progressing, and you're very flexible with the way that you see things. You feel that you can bounce back, and you don't see failure as an identity, you kind of just see it as something that happens to everyone.
So, some pros and cons of fixed and growth mindsets. I'll let you know on the fixed side, it's kind of more cons, to be honest. So, intelligence. Intelligence is static and cannot be developed if you have a fixed mindset. When it comes to obstacles and failures, you avoid challenges and give up easily. Failure is a result of limited ability. Keyword limited ability. And when it comes to results, they may plateau early and achieve less than full potential. So that's fixed mindsets cons.
Okay, and for growth, there's obviously more pros. So your intelligence is always improving and can be developed. There's nothing that you can't achieve if you don't want to. And so you see obstacles and failures as a setback, and you view failure as an opportunity to allow you to grow, which results in you achieving high levels of achievement.
So let's get into some characteristics of a servant leader. So these are those who desire to serve, who love others. They're maybe like a people's person, something like that. Um, those who can identify and meet the needs of others. That is very important. Some people cannot identify and meet the needs of others. Some people, that's just something that they struggle with, and it doesn't come to them naturally. Um, Also, you have those who listen and understand rather than responding. That is a key characteristic of a servant leadership. They're trying to understand their peers versus just trying just to tell them something or to just direct them or to instruct them to do something. That's very key. One who is goal oriented. You want to achieve some goals. You want to see other people prosper. That is a true servant leadership. I mean, leader. Um, Someone who's empathetic. You can appeal to other people's emotions. That's very important. Someone who's dependable and trustworthy. That's very important too. You can't serve others if they can't even depend or even trust you. That's very big. You want to like serve and lead somebody else, they have to trust you first. And that isn't earned easily nowadays. Includer, you include people on things. That's very important when you're serving others. A good communicator, gotta communicate. They gotta know what's going on and how you're thinking and how they can get better. That's very important. And also, lastly, one who is aware of others, being aware of their leadership styles, being aware of them lacking in one area, so you can help them in that area. That's important when you're serving others.
So, what is the key to servant leadership? The key to servant leadership is saying yes to serving others. It's in the name, servant. So there's a couple of ways to do that. So the first one is to be empowering, inspire, and help others grow and succeed. If you're a servant leader, something that should be really important to you is making sure that everyone that you're leading will eventually reach their goals and also see achievements as well. Another thing is to be interconnected. So you want to understand others, you want to understand their strengths. This will also help your group because, if you know people's strengths, you're going to be able to use it to everyone's advantage. Be generous, include everyone, contribute and support. Also remember to be inclusive, be energetic, action oriented, and goal setting. And finally, be a visionary. Dream big, be able to recognize others' potential and see the great leader that they can become, and also dream big about yourself. If you always remember the vision, if you always remember your mission and why you're leading, you're going to be very motivated and you're going to be very determined in what you're doing.
Great. We have one question from Regina, and it says, can people change from a growth mindset to fix? Say someone has been at a company for a long time. Would this be the case? Regina, that is true. People can change. Some people might have growth mindsets for maybe like in their beginning stages of life, and as they get comfortable within their career or things like that, they tend to get a bit, I guess, like they just get complacent in one spot and get comfortable in that spot, and they think, okay, this is it. I've reached, the climax of everything, and this is how it's going to be for the rest of my life. That's a transition. That's a fixed mindset. So it can change. So you kind of got to be careful of just trying to. If you are a growth mindset person, just always, knowing that it's always room for improvement at all times, even in the climax of your career, or maybe in your college career or journey, you could have a 4.0. You can still say, okay, I have all A's, but I can still get better, at managing my time here and there. I can still get better at organizing my notes and note taking. So just kind of being aware of that as well. But that was a great question.
And I kind of wanted to add to that. I think it's also important to value perspective over your situation because if you're looking at it from a situation point, like, oh, like I've been at this company for such a long time, I'm not going anywhere, instead of thinking of it from a perspective of, okay, like what can I do to get better? What skills can I acquire that will help me move up in this company? Then your mindset is going to look very fixed if you're just thinking about it from a situation point of view instead of like what I can be doing to change or what I can be doing to evolve.
Okay. So what are some ways to get involved with CLS? You can book a consultation today, right now. We gonna help you out. We gonna serve you, you know what I'm saying? So you can actually click this link. Well, actually you kind of can't, but if you go to the CLS website, you can easily find the consultation tab and you can just type in some information and we can help you become a better leader. We can help you serve others. Also, thanks for coming out and participating. I appreciate all of y'all. Of course, Regina, of course. If you have any additional questions, feel free to follow our socials and DM us there, or you can type in the chat right now. We can answer some questions right now. Our Instagram is at CLS Leads 19. That's at CLS Leads 19. And we have another one too. Hold on. It's at UNT Lead and Serve. Once again, at UNT Lead and Serve. And also, we on Twitter too. So, we on multiple platforms. So on Twitter, we are at CLS Leads, at CLS Leads. And then also we have another account too. It's at UNT Lead and Serve. So that is our socials. I know y'all be on social media, so hit us up, come to our lead talks, you know what I'm saying? See some of our presentations. We be out here doing what we gotta do in a pandemic. So, we want to help y'all be great. So that concludes our presentation. Thank y'all for coming out. Now go serve some people.